What's up, guys? This is Robert, Rule of Two Review, and today I discuss what it takes to win E3. Okay, so it is Wednesday, June 4th, 2014, and we are inching ever so closer to E3 this year. Of course, it starts on Monday, June 9th, moves through into Tuesday, June 10th, where the show floor starts. Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, EA, Ubisoft, everyone is holding their press conferences over the next couple days. It's going to be really exciting. Tons of new games, tons of new announcements. I've been doing a couple of E3 prep videos over the last week or so. They seem to have been really popular. I've gotten a lot of good responses and people getting involved. So thank you guys so much. It's good to know that you're just as excited for E3 as I am. But how could you not be? It's always the best time of year. Like I said before, as soon as it's January 1st, it is always time to start getting hyped for E3. I don't care what year it is, what's going on. That's what it is that we look forward to. It is our Christmas. It is a gamer's Christmas. It's a nerd's Christmas. It's the greatest thing, you know. That combined with Comic-Con, Tokyo Game Show, Gamescom, you know, a lot of things throughout the year. But of course, E3 is the big one. Here we are. We're getting way closer. And so I've been thinking about all sorts of different things E3 related. And of course, one thing that always comes to mind when you think about E3 is who's going to win? Who will win? Who did win? Who did the best? Who did the worst? What was good? What was bad? Who won E3? That is a big deal. It always has been a big, I shouldn't say always, more so in the last 5 to 10 years or so of the conference, has it become a big deal, a big sort of conversation that happens throughout, you know, in the time leading up to the show, the week of the show, and in the you know, the aftermath of the show, the following weeks and months once the show is concluded and the dust settles and we all have time to kind of look back on it. Last year was a really good example where, because we had this great moment where we had Microsoft and Sony, you know, squaring off head to head, both announcing all this information about their upcoming new consoles at the time. And they were almost in like a 1 versus 1 sort of scenario. And even more so because Nintendo chose to opt out of the live press conference and do something different with a Nintendo Direct for E3. So it really felt that much more like a one-on-one battle between Sony and Microsoft with brand new hardware. And because of the way it was handled, especially with Sony's amazing press conference and how much they were able to position themselves to be able to just, you know, stick it to the gut of Microsoft and make it seem like they were this great company that was there for the gamer and everyone loved it and everyone was all cheering and excited and they did great things. It was a great conference and it led to major success for the PlayStation 4. I mean, they're still riding the hype of that press conference now, literally almost 1 year later. So that is where you can say, yeah, Sony won E3 last year, and that's a great moment when there's a clear defined winner. But what I'm going to do is discuss what it takes to win E3 and if it really even has to matter if you win E3. So if I had to guess, I'd be willing to bet my bottom dollar that almost all of you out there think that yes, it is very much important to win E3. And I definitely won't say you're wrong. In so many ways, I actually completely agree. Because of how important E3 is, because of the standard that we hold it to, as I was just expressing a moment ago, it's a big deal. And if you can walk away from that show every year and be seen as and heralded as the best of the best within this industry and hobby that we all love so much and hold so dear and are so passionate about, then you are a hero. You are triumphant. That's a big deal. And as we saw last year with Sony's unprecedented success and the further unprecedented success of the PlayStation 4, almost entirely because of how well that press conference went, it can also mean revenue. It can mean that you can become more successful. I mean, you're basically selling and showing your product and why it matters and why you think it's the best to the media of the world and directly to us, the gamers, because we follow it and watch it so closely. We are the ones, all of us are going to be glued to our computers and our laptops and our phones and our streaming devices, watching these press conferences, you know, digesting and ingesting all of this information that comes at us for a couple of days. And we love it. As the gamers, we win. That's why it's the best. So yeah, when you look at how we attach ourselves to it as gamers, as the public, the consumer, the people with the spending power and the buying dollar, because of how we view it, if you can be seen as the best and the winner, yeah, it matters. Again, I don't want to retread, but that's why Sony saw so much success with the PlayStation 4, because they had such a great press conference. We all loved it, so we bought the shit out of PlayStation 4s, and that was great for Sony and great for the gamer. That was wonderful. So, but at the same time, I also kind of look at E3 from the standpoint of it maybe doesn't have to matter who does win or doesn't win, quote unquote, provided that you just show up. You have good product to show, you believe in it, you present it in an exciting way, and we love it. It doesn't matter if you're seen as the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, or sixth best or whatever. We might not even have to look at it that way, provided we can walk away from whatever your showings are during that week, and we can say, man, that was good. What Microsoft had this year was good. What Nintendo had this year was good. What Electronic Arts or Konami showed this year was good. It was great. Whatever that is, that's fine. That's fine. The press conference thing is a little bit different because we know those 5 main press conferences happen, and more specifically 3 of them from the hardware developers. I do feel like in the next couple of years, Valve will start holding their very own specific thing that is of the stature and grandeur of the Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, EA, and Ubisoft kind of thing, especially with the imminent Steam boxes coming. I would be willing to bet that we'll probably see Valve step into this kind of market at some point. And I think that'll be great. It'll be great for the industry and it'll be great for E3. So, but, does it have to matter if you win? I mean, yes, it does. And at the same time, no, it kind of doesn't. I mean, this year, if Microsoft has the best press conference and Nintendo and Sony have just okay showings, I feel like provided that we feel good about what Nintendo and Sony both had to show us, which I think we will, by the way, but provided that is actually true and we walk away saying, man, they had great stuff to show this year, then who cares? It doesn't really matter, right? I mean, people who are excited about gaming will say, wow, now I need to buy a PlayStation 4, now I need to buy a Wii U, even if their press conference wasn't as good, or vice versa with Microsoft, or, if Ubisoft always does really interesting things, and they're just, of course, a software developer, and publisher, so, it's provided that they are just exciting and they show us new games. It doesn't matter what platforms they are. If they show us new stuff that is exciting, like Watch Dogs 2 years ago, then that can change the whole course of the show and the whole course of that company's respective future. So, basically, yes, it's great to win E3. Do I think it's necessary or mandatory? No, I don't. But hey, that's just me. So, of course, since those are my thoughts on whether or not how important it is to win E3, you may feel differently, and that's fine. Again, no one person is wrong. Someone could say 100% it's important to win E3, and I would be like, yes, I agree. Someone could say 100% it's not important to win E3, and I would say, yes, I also agree. So that's what that is. But that aside, when thinking about winning E3, what does it take to win E3? That, of course, is the big question here today. And that's a doozy. Okay, let me redact that a little bit. It is a doozy, but at the same time, it's not, because isn't it kind of obvious what it takes to win E3? Show us a bunch of good games. That's all you have to do. And it's almost surprising when you look back at the history of E3 and some of the worst showings and worst moments ever of the show. And it's kind of like, how did you not know what to do? Why did you choose to do these obviously poor things when all you could have done instead has been like, here? It's strange. The press conferences are very unique in the sense that, on the surface, I almost want to say, man, I just wish like Reggie or God, I can't even say Jack Tretton or Don Mattrick. It's literally, I don't know the guy for Sony. I'm forgetting his name now. It's not Mark Cerny, I don't think. But whoever it is from Sony and now Phil Spencer from Microsoft, if these guys just get up on stage and they just say, here's a trailer for a kick-ass game, and then the trailer plays. Then they walk on stage and say, here's another trailer for another kick-ass game, and then that plays. Like, that would be great for an hour, literally. But what's neat about the press conferences, it both makes it very difficult to be successful, but exceptionally wonderful when they actually work out well and they're exciting, is having this kind of presence from the person who's really hosting it. When you're bringing up guests and people to demo things on stage, you want it to be exciting. You need this kind of charisma and stature that really exudes confidence and excitement and gets us all, feeling the buzz of what that company is trying to show us. So it is more than just, here's a bunch of good games. How are we going to present it to in an exciting way? Again, I'll keep going back to Sony's last year where they were able to say, without being exciting, just having the content of saying, and our system will be $399 after Microsoft had earlier that day announced $599, that was enough to be a stinger. That changed the whole show. That was their moment, their winning moment of E3. Absolutely. And even furthermore, let's go back to the most famous E3 moment in not even recent memory, in all memory. And this was actually at the E3 that I attended, 2004, Nintendo's press conference, the reveal of Twilight Princess. We all know it's one of the biggest and best moments ever. It's the best. I mean, let's not beat around the bush. It is the best moment ever. Absolutely. And so that is the kind of thing where, again, that was only one trailer for one game, but the way it was handled with the reveal, the oh, and one more thing, and Miyamoto on stage with the Master Sword, and the trailer itself was just kick-ass. I mean, that was a complete package of charisma and execution, excitement, theatrics, and all this stuff that culminated in the best moment of E3. And it made a bunch of money for Nintendo. It sold a bunch of GameCubes. It sold a bunch of Twilight Princess. Everyone loves Zelda like they never did before. It was great. So, those kind of things are necessary. So, it's just interesting to me, like I said a moment ago, how many times a company will basically fuck it up. And it's like, how did you not know? Just have a bunch of games, And I think it gets a little bit tricky also because these press conferences, they do serve ultimately, and it's easy for us as gamers to forget this, they do serve another purpose other than just buy these games, here's a game, here's a game, here's a game, buy them. It's more than that. They're also trying to show to the media and to the investors and business folks within the rooms at hand what's going on, why their company matters, why you should buy their stock, why you should believe in their company, why you should partner with their company, why you should support their company, want to make games for their platforms. If you're a developer, there's a lot more going on behind the scenes than just look at these great games. Those have a place because as they get us excited, it makes investors and developers realize, okay, this is a company to be excited for. We want to be a part of it because they see that we're getting excited for it. So they do show the fun stuff, but they're also trying to send a message. This is how we've been successful. This is how we want to be successful going forward. We're going to spend some time talking about boring stuff. Look at what the 3DS has done in the last 2 years. It's been amazing, Look at what the PS4 did in the first 6 months. It's been amazing. Can keep this momentum? Those things are important to the other people in the room that aren't quite what you and I are, the gamer, the person at home watching and getting excited about this stuff. So it sort of creates a further catch-22 in how to make it an exciting press conference and how to, again, win E3. But we've seen it done many times before. Sony was amazing last year. Nintendo was amazing in 2010 and in 2004. Microsoft was great that one year. They gave away a bunch of free Xbox 360s, I think 2008 or 9. So everyone's got it in them to just do great. You just show the right stuff and we love it. So that's what it takes to win E3. Now, I made a video about my predictions for E3 this year, and that was more about just overall kind of general broad topics for each of the three main console developer press conferences. But my prediction when it comes to this specific topic of winning E3, I'm gonna get a little bit specific here. So let me collect my thoughts. Okay, so even though I've discussed how important or unimportant it may be to win E3, I feel good about saying I still want to make a prediction about who will win E3 because I still stand by that, yes, there's a huge part of me that absolutely realizes it is important to win E3. And I hope someone wins E3 and wins it in a great, grand fashion. It is no secret, I'm a huge Nintendo fan. They're my favorite company. I love Nintendo, but I still love Sony and the PlayStation. I still love Microsoft and the Xbox. So don't get me wrong, I am not biased. So what I want is for Nintendo to win E3. And do I think they have a chance at it? Absolutely. I think they have more than a good chance because they have potentially the most compelling software to show, and they can really knock it out of the park if they say, now more people than ever will finally understand why the Wii U matters, why it's awesome, and why the gamepad matters. And that could help them win. Plus, Zelda alone could be enough to win E3. However, I don't really think that they will win E3, quote unquote. I think they're going to have a great showing and a great presence. So I don't think they're going to bomb. And I don't think Sony is going to bomb. But I do think that Microsoft, if I had to guess, is probably going to be the company to walk away the winner. And I know that seems crazy, but even though they've made crazy mistakes over the last year, it's stupid the things they've done. I think that, and I said this in one of my recent E3 videos, I think that they're the one in the position with the most to gain, the most to be aggressive, and the most to make up for. So if they can really come out, spin their message to be more than ever, we are for the gamer, because that's kind of what they've lost over the last year with the whole Xbox One roller coaster. If they can make us believe again that they're for the gamer, and they can show us a bunch of great games, a bunch of great exclusive games, because that really matters. They don't even have to say, look, our system can finally run things at 60 frames per second, just like the PS4. Fuck the PS4. Don't even bring that up. Who cares about power? If you show us good games, trust me, you're going to do great. We're going to love you. We're going to throw our money at you, and we will see you as the winner. Any one of the companies that does that, that's the way it's going to be. So, and I do think Sony and Nintendo are going to be bringing crazy games to the show, so it's going to be interesting to see. I have a humongous possibility of not being correct. So just so you know, I'm not trying to predict like I know everything that's going to happen. I just think with a pretty good amount of certainty, but not complete certainty, that Microsoft will. I just think that they're going to be the dark horse. They're going to be the surprise because they've been messing up so much, and everyone probably thinks Sony is going to win or thinks that Zelda is going to win E3 just for Nintendo. I think it's going to come down to Microsoft pushing forward their message. We are for the gamer again. Phil Spencer is a great, smart man. I really like the guy. I think he's genuine. I think he cares. I think he knows what needs to be done. He's honestly the kind of guy that I want Nintendo to get to make these decisions for them going forward. So I hope that happens at some point soon. But since Phil Spencer is the guy doing the Microsoft thing, I think that they're going to come out really strong and aggressive. I think they're going to show crazy content. There's rumors of a big exclusive title in a well-established franchise coming up soon that they may have. Fallout is one of them, that they might get Fallout 4 exclusive or even timed exclusive. And there was another one, and I can't remember what it was. But, regardless, if that holds out to be true and it's a big deal, that's going to be huge for them. So, it's going to remain to be seen. So that's pretty much it. I guess I'm going to wrap up here. My prediction, my guess is that Microsoft's going to win, but I think any one of the three have a good chance. I think all three are going to have good showings. I don't think anyone's going to be dropping the ball this year. Even Ubisoft and EA, I almost turned that into one company. Ubisoft and EA, I think they're going to show great games. We're going to get Star Wars Battlefront this year. Oh my God, that's amazing. So it's going to be a great E3. We don't have new hardware, but who cares? It's going to be a great E3. So anyway, that's my overall conversation about E3 and what it takes to win and if winning does matter. And with that, I will end it here on probably my second to last E3 hype video. I'll make one more regarding E3 in another couple of days, so tune in for that. It'll probably show up over the weekend before the actual show starts on Monday and Tuesday. So, of course, if you like what I'm doing, you can feel free to subscribe to Rule of Two Review, like and share the video in your comments. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for getting hyped for E3 with me, and of course, I will catch you next time.